Hey y'all, it's Kaylin, and today I am sharing a throwback to one of the best leadership experiences I ever had back when I was a regional sales manager and part of this amazing leadership team at a global prestige skincare company. You might not know this about me, but I landed my very first job when I was 15 years old, and I have seriously seen my share of good and bad coworkers and leaders during that time. The team that I had the privilege of being part of in this particular situation was one of the most collaborative, get-it-done groups of empowered women that I have had the pleasure of working with. And in fact, somewhere during our time together, we actually gave ourselves the nickname the Sensational Six. I kid you not, we were so proud of ourselves. And what made this group so sensational was that there was no ego, no competition, and really no drama amongst us. We had this talent for really pulling together and focusing on the success of the business and our teams that reported to us. And this is a group of women that we came from all over the country. Each of us had these very different backgrounds and experiences, and yet we all brought these strengths to the table that really managed to complement one another. I felt like I learned something every single day from these ladies, and in honor of them, I just felt it was so needed to share some of the biggest lessons that they've taught me, and they are things I still carry with me today. So lesson one came from our consummate Southern belle on the team. She was a top performing rep and regional manager, and she had this saying that came straight from her grandma. And let me tell you, this girl lived this saying. She was very on it. And that is, always wear your lipstick. And the message I took away from it is that no matter where you are or what you're doing, just make sure that you are buttoned up. Pay attention to the small details and always be polished and professional and on point. The way you show up creates an impression that once you get that impression, that first piece of meeting someone embedded, it can stick with them and be really hard to change. So be prepared to meet and exceed expectations. Show up with enthusiasm, be organized and ready for anything. And lesson two came from our education manager, who had such a gift for speaking honestly and directly. And from her, I learned to take a direct approach. And the fact is, there are going to be times when you've got something to say, and it's not always going to be what other people want to hear, but it is what's needed to be said in the moment all the same. When you come from a place that's not criticism, but with an intent to coach or encourage growth, an honest approach really is the best way to tackle a situation. Avoid sugarcoating or dancing around an issue, and communicate clearly and concisely to really get the results that you need. The third lesson I learned came from our Southwest regional manager, and she is also a published author and beauty queen. She taught me relationships are everything. So the human factor in business and life can really hold the potential to be either your greatest joy or your biggest challenge. And it is the one thing you cannot control as far as how that other person's going to, make their mind up or interact with you. So build those strong relationships with your team, your peers, your clients, and just come from a place of authenticity and integrity and transparency in all of your interactions. The investment that you make in real, strong relationships with people, it shows up, especially when you really, really care about their needs. It builds a bond and creates this level of trust that leads to strong collaborative partnerships. And the fourth lesson came from our Midwest regional manager, who was just a no-nonsense, get-it-done woman with a very impressive and long track record of success. She was very dedicated to the idea of honoring her boundaries. She really was generous and always contributed to the team and got things done, but she had a gift for knowing when to say no. The thing is, you won't do any good for your team, clients, employees if you're burnt out and drained because you're saying yes to every single project that gets thrown your way. So know when enough is enough and honor your boundaries. You are going to be more efficient, effective, and respected for doing so. And then the fifth and final lesson comes from our operations manager, who was this practical, pragmatic hero who just had a gift for making magic behind the scenes and keeping us all going. And she really taught me to challenge the status quo. Any group situation is great because it's this opportunity to share diverse ideas, But the flip side is that there's always a risk for what we call groupthink, or going along with the majority view, because it's really the easy thing to do. Instead, thoughtfully express your point of view in group settings. Don't give in to that tendency to go along with the most popular opinion or take the path of least resistance, because your insight is powerful. It has the potential to impact the course of a whole discussion in a very positive way that really provides your team with additional food for thought. The advantage of working in a team environment is that ability to really consider a variety of opinions that reflect every participant's background and experience. So embrace the perspective that makes you unique, and then speak up. I really hope sharing these leadership lessons has sparked some ideas for your own leadership journey. Never hesitate to celebrate the things you learn every day from the people in your circle, and never stop growing. And take a minute today to reach out to some of those people who have mentored and inspired you, and share with them the lessons that you've taken away from them and what they have done to help make you a stronger, better, more confident leader. It's so great to have you guys here again today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Take care.